Immortal Sorrows. Joy and love, laughter and bliss. For as ever gracious as your presence is within the sanctum of my mind, you spend your visits in short bursts. You enter through the doors of my home and smile happily, offering gifts and brief reminders of how joy can change someone's day for the better. I smile at this memory. But just as your message is implanted inside me, I see you leave right outside the door. You bid me farewell and leave to carry on your own daily life. I suppose that it makes sense. Joy cannot dedicate all of their time to me. They have other friends and family who need to see them, probably worse than I do. But how short will their encounter be? I notice how Joy has saved my day, or at least my few hours, before I am once again greeted with my other neighbor, Sorrow. He's so silent. It's not as though he's a menace to be feared or a criminal to be outlawed, just as I am not a man of darkness and hate. He merely stands there, drowning in his own misery. I can feel his darkness resonating throughout my home, penetrating my mind, though in reality I know that he doesn't mean to. While joy impacts me for a mere few hours, I can feel the impacts of sorrow throughout the course of my daily life. This is not to say that I feel his emotions sifting through me most of the time. Rather, he changes me more than joy. Joy blesses me with short and new encounters, and sometimes it too can bless me with permanent change. Sorrow, however, teaches me more lessons through experience, as opposed to bestowing upon me blessings from some higher power. I am reminded of each flaw that I have ever made, each time that I have failed throughout the course of my life, every loss, every tear shed, every instance of absolute misery, and from this, I can learn. I understand what exactly I have done to cause these inauspicious events to occur. I understand likewise as to prevent them. For every instance of suffering, there was also a cause, of which I am most certainly guilty. I can be at peace with my immortal sorrow knowing this. Once I grasped the cure for my sadness, I no longer have a reason to be sad, only to walk forward. And yes, sorrow is a more frequent visitor than joy, but I do tend to learn from both. From how infrequent joy's days are, I've come to understand that it's better to count my blessings than to watch them fleetingly pass by. Each gift that has been called onto me, descending from the stars above, has changed me in their own way, though it does take its time, and takes a collection of gifts to make a permanent and everlasting impact. For sorrow, it's easier for it to make changes in your life for better or worse. But it takes courage from a noble spirit in order to accept the wisdom of one's own sorrow and use it as a method of improvement. Once the courage is gathered, then one's own immortal sorrow, like joy, can be a blessing of its own. The only difference is that it's interpreted in a different light.